the end, we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children, the Ephics and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isobo. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All these we pray, all these we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. I had in Sosine Bige. He said,
welcome, fellow Biafrans, those who are able to join. Please, as you join the broadcast, kindly share the program. Share the program on your platform, share it to family and friends, share it to anybody that is close to you. That is all you have to do for me at this particular point in time. Share the program. It is very important we continue to do that which we are supposed to do. Do the needful at all times. So wherever you are watching from across the world, if you are watching from Biafra land, you are watching from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, whichever part of the world you are watching from, China, from Russia, please kindly share the program. Share this program on your platform, share it to family and friends, share it to anybody that's close to you. Obizwe Mike, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Please, as you join, kindly share the program. Share it to anybody you can be able to reach. Any WhatsApp group you belong, share it on that WhatsApp group so that people can get to catch up with the program and know what we are doing and where we are going. Today is a very special day, as you all know. A very special day. The day that is mapped out for our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He that is standing in for us, who has been persecuted against all other that have been given, have been releasing, the refugee releasing. Today is a day we dedicate to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and a day we will never give up. We will never ever give up. A day that every Biafrans make their voice heard. A day that Biafrans make their opinion heard. A day that Biafrans make it clear to the world what they want, what their heart desire is. It's a day that is mouthed out, a day that we sit at home to make sure that the world sees our plight and the world hears that we are in the same line with our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, standing in with him, making sure that he's not forgotten, making sure that he's being released unconditionally. This is a day that decision has been taken. And today, being Monday, every Biafran in Biafra land and across Biafra land are all observing the sit at home. And let me tell you, as I have always said in my previous broadcasts, nobody can stop the sit at home except Mazen Nnamdi Kanu himself by his release. If you want to stop the sit at home, go and release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. As soon as we hear that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released, automatically the sit at home ceases. You don't need to preach about it. You don't need to fight about it. You don't need to make any noise about it. And that is why we come online today, being a special day for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, to speak about this issue. Our purpose of coming here is not to instigate anybody. It is not to fight anybody. It's not to cause any confusion, any trouble. What we are trying to do is to make sure that the name of our Supreme Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not swept under the carpet. To make sure that the world hears the plight of an innocent man who is being imprisoned, the prisoner of conscience. He has not committed any crime, any place in this world. There is no crime he has committed anywhere. No court of the world have found him guilty. None, not even one. Every place where his name is mentioned, every place where he's been persecuted, every place where he's been taken to, he has gotten freedom, even in the territory of the enemy. He has been declared innocent. And yet, they have refused to let him go. Instead, they continue to pile on different kinds of propaganda and blackmail against him to continue to hold him back. That is why Monday becomes a special day for those of us in Biafra land. This Monday was chosen by Biafran people. It was not forced on them. Biafran people chose this Monday, and that is why they are sitting at home to make sure that the man that is standing in for them, the man who has given it all, the man who have lost his two parents because of us, is remembered and never forgotten. And if anybody think you can fight the majority, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. There is an adage in Igbo language which says that all or siro ufunye amalichasia. But ufunye siro or yerichasia and which more. So today, being Monday, is the day that the whole Biafrans have preserved for remembrance of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and support for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not forgotten. To make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released unconditionally. And if you think in any way, in any manner, by any thought that comes to your mind to make you feel and think that you can be able to stand against the will of the people, you are destroying and damaging yourself. Please, as you join the platform, like the program and again share. Like and share in any platform where you belong, in any family group you belong. Share to friends and foes. Everybody share to them so that we can be able to get this message across, because today is that day that we're waiting for. As you all know that today is a battle line. A battle line was drawn between Biafran people and the politicians whom we say they are no longer speaking for us. After we have casted the vote of no confidence on these politicians, they will never let go. You know they will never go without a fight. You and I know very well they will never go without a fight. That is why we have to stand our ground and expect whatever is coming. Whatever they are going to bring to us, wherever angle they're going to come from, whichever angle they're going to bring it from, we have to stand firm and stand strong. Be focused. Do not lose your focus. Do not lose your attention. Don't allow anybody to drag you away from the real thing. We are focused on that thing that matters to you and I, which is the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and the coming of Biafra. And these two things are working hand in hand. Each time you hear us talking about the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we are actually talking about the freedom of Biafran people. And when you see us pursuing freedom of Biafra by all means possible, we are pursuing the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. These two things are one. You can't separate them from the other. You cannot separate. There's no way you can talk about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu without talking about the coming of freedom, the freedom of Biafran people. And there's no way you can talk about the freedom of the people without talking about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is why each time we mount the pulpit and we are speaking with every strength and every authority, talking about the coming of Biafra. And by the way, we are seeking for the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, not a freedom that he will be released and tomorrow he will still be accountable to the so-called Zoological Republic. Not a situation where he'll be released and the next minute you are inviting him somewhere else to begin to be answerable to them. No, we want a situation where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be released for good and he will not be answerable to anybody except to the Biafran people. That is what we understand. That is the desire of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because he himself on his own statement said it, that if you know what you will do to get me Biafra, go ahead and get it. The only thing he demands from you and I is to make sure we fight for Biafra and get it. That is the best gift you can give to him. And that is why today you see the Biafra Republic government in exile fighting tooth and nail, fighting from all angles, from all corners, from all sorts, to make sure that we hold our ground until our freedom is secure. That is why we are fighting without looking back, against all odds, with all the attack that is coming from east, west, north, and south, from all canals, from all angles, and yet we are not deterred. We are not hindered. We continue to focus on that direction, which matters to every one of us. That is where we will remain, and we will continue to remain focused until Biafra is gotten. Today you have seen those elected, so those selected officials who claim to be representing themselves and not Biafran people, trying to boast, trying to stop the will of the people on different angles, trying to boast and say they are going to unleash all manner of ammunitions and weapons at their disposal against their own people. These are people who are supposed to be standing up and speaking on favor of their people. These are people that preach democracy. Democracy, they say, is a game of numbers. And yet, they say it's a game of numbers, but yet, when the number that is requesting for a certain item is higher, they will not still obey it. They are still pursuing their own selfish and personal interests, and at the same time telling you about democracy. We are not going to be part of that kind of democracy. The democracy we are going to practice is a democracy which started in Biafra land that allows every single person's opinion to count. That is the democracy we are going to practice in Biafra land. And that is the democracy that Biafrans are known for. A democracy where every voice is being heard, every voice is being considered, everybody have equal rights, where the majority carries the votes. That is the kind of democracy we are looking forward to in Biafra land. Today, what we have in the Zoological Republic is not a democracy and will never be. Not just in the zoo, in the whole of the world. Because today what you see is that they take the voice of the majority and give it to the minority, take the right of the majority and give it to the minority. At the same time, they will tell you about democracy, that is a game of number. But it is a game of selfishness, a game of self-centeredness, a game of the elite. That is what it is. Those who have the voice, who have representation, those who feel that they have the power and have the money, they are the only one that the democracy is working for, and not for the poor masses. And the nation we are looking for, nation of Biafra, will not be that way. We are looking for a country and a nation where every single one of us will play a role, where the voice of everybody will be heard, where every single citizen of that country will be defended. You will have no fear to be walking about. You'll be free to practice whatever you want to practice as a religion. You'll be free to make your speech, and after your speech, you'll still be free. You'll be free to take your decisions and grow at every speed according to your own desire. That is the nation we're looking forward to. And nobody can deny us that. Today you can see the effort they are making to make sure that the voice of the majority is being silenced. What is the voice of majority in Biafra land? You and I know the voice of majority in Biafra land. Even without a referendum, you personally within your heart, if you can be sincere within yourself, sincere to yourself, conduct a referendum within your heart sincerely, you will see that the voice of the majority is that we want to go home. We want to go home. We are no longer interested in the madness happening in this local republic. We have suffered a long time. We have complained for a long time. We have cried for a long time. And it is time for us to go home. Today being the day we remember Mazen Nandekano, the day we stand in solidarity with Mazen Nandekano. Everywhere you are in Biafra land, do not listen to the voice of the enemy. Don't try to be a hero. Don't make yourself a sacrificial lamb. You know the game they always play. Each time they make such threat, they will always look for another means to blackmail the IPOB, blackmail the people who are doing the right one, blackmail the good guy. And in the process, they will go to any length, including taking life of innocent people. That is why we are warning and saying, the sit at home continues. The only way for you to stay safe, untouched, unharmed, is by you obeying instructions, listening to the right instructions. Sit at home and you sit at home. Sit at your home. The end to the sit at home, everybody knows what is going to end the sit at home and when it's going to end. It's not questionable. It is not negotiable. Just like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, that the coming of Biafra is not negotiable. The same way, sit at home is not negotiable. It remains until our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is freed. That one day has been given off. Dedicated to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, a Biafran day. And if you think you can play on that very day, you are playing with your own life. If you think you can play on that very day that has been selected by Biafran people, you are gambling your own life. And I bet you might not live to tell the story. Every information we are passing out is to keep you safe. Every information is passing out is to make sure that you succeed. You're welcome, Obi. Thank you so much for joining, Obi. I appreciate you. So whoever you are, wherever you are on the planet Earth today, whichever location you are, if you are not in Biafra land, make sure you reach out to your people in Biafra land. Tell them that do not listen to anybody about ending sit at home. The only thing that ends sit at home is for you to listen and ask, is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu released? Any moment you hear that our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is free, from that moment onwards, the sit at home ceases. It doesn't require any broadcast. It doesn't require any fighting. It doesn't require any enforcement. Release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and you see the sit at home ends. And if you refuse to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, embrace the sit at home, it is going to be tougher than you have ever seen. It is even going to be higher. More civil disobedience is going to be added. You haven't seen nothing yet. You haven't seen nothing yet. You want to remove the only thing that is working. You want to remove the only weapon that the Biafran people have to air their opinion. You have denied them access in everything in your governance. You have denied them access in everything in government. You never allow them to speak. Their word never counts. And they have chosen another way in which they can make their point to the world, and you want to take it away from them. You cannot beat a child and tell that child not to cry. It is not possible. You can't beat a child and tell the child not to cry. That is not possible. No matter how you try, you cannot stop the voice of the people. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Chukwu Okike himself and the gods of our land have already sanctioned that Monday as a Biafran day, dedicated to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And there's nothing you can do about it. It is not negotiable. And I see some people, some clowns who has no clue of what is going on, who has no feeling about the problem of their people. If you are a blogger, I beg you, just focus on your vlogging. Focus on your vlogging. Do not use Biafra to envy you. Do not use Biafra to draw attention to yourself. Because you cannot be able to handle what is coming. It doesn't matter whom you are. It doesn't matter your tribe, your religion, your location, wherever you're thinking. As long as you're a Biafran, or as long as you open your mouth to gamble into the issue of Biafra, be ready to face what comes with it. Be ready to face it. If you're a vlogger, there are so many things to talk about. There are so many things to vlog about. But when you begin to dabble into the issue of Biafra, up to the extent of attacking the sit at home, whatever comes to you, you should be able to embrace it because you are fighting the gods of the land. You think when you are fighting the sit at home, you are fighting our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. You're not fighting Mazi Simon Ekpa. Neither are you fighting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Some of them think that when they talk against the sit at home, when they stop sit at home, they have actually stopped Mazi Simon Ekpa. And when they stop the sit at home, they have now destroyed Mazi Simon Ekpa. You think that when you stop the sit at home, you have destroyed the Biafra Republic government in exile. You think that when you stop the sit at home, that you have now overcome Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You are a dreamer. You are a joker. You are nothing but a joker. This is an agreement that was reached by Biafran people on their own. Last Monday you saw it. Since all this while, when Biafran have already adopted and chosen by themselves, all this while, they have tried and tried and tried. Soludo came and tried to stop it. He couldn't be able to stop it. The man in Imo State, the useless governor in Imo State, is still fighting on to today, destroying life for people to stop it at home. He couldn't be able to stop it. They push all manner of propaganda, including taking life of our people on Mondays, in order to blame it on the Biafran people. When they did all those propaganda, push all those lies, and it never worked, they sat back. And today, The man in Enugu State want to reactivate taking life of Biafrans on Monday, on sit-at-home day. He want to reactivate it. And our Prime Minister have already warned that any Biafra that loses his life in the course of sit-at-home on Monday, anybody that loses his life on Monday because of this call of this governor of Enugu State, he will pay dearly. He will open the gate of hell against himself. And it is not a threat. Because for a very long time, Biafrans have known peace on Monday. Nobody is coming out to enforce anything. People on their own are sitting at home. A decision has been taken by Biafran people to demand for the unconditional release of their leader who is being held captive against the order of the court. If it were to be that Mazen Nanikan has not granted freedom, it's a different issue. If it were to be that Mazen Nanikan is guilty, it's a different issue. If it were to be that Mazen Nanikan committed any crime, it is a different issue. But we are talking about an innocent man who has not committed any crime whatsoever. You are there. Members of Boko Haram are being released. Released and given compensation. Some of them given employment in the military. You were there. You never said a word. You never protest. You never protest about that. The release of the Boko Haram is still happening even as we speak. And they reintegrate them into the military. Some of them are being placed on monthly salaries. These are people who have committed crime, who has taken the life of good number of citizens in that Zulu Republic. They have committed different kinds of havocs and still continue to commit. And yet, the government of the day sees nothing wrong in them. The governors of their state never called on their destruction. Every one of us know that the most secured zone in that construction is the northern part of Nigeria. The most insecure zone. The most insecure zone is the northern part of Nigeria. Any angle of the north you go, you will see insecurity staring at your face. You don't need to search for it. You will see it. Even from a distance, you will see it. Reports are coming on a daily basis. The loss of life that is going on a daily basis. And nobody's talking about it. We have not heard that the governor went to the federal government, went to Abuja to go and order for military. We see what is happening in the north. Yet we have not seen any governor of the north going to demand for military to come and destroy their people. No. But what do we see in Biafra land? People that are asking for a legitimate right of self-determination. From the onset, when this issue started, we have never, ever raised an arm against anybody. We have never raised arms against anybody. Even up to date, we have never raised arms against any innocent person. Never. We have never, ever raised arms against any innocent person. What you see going on inside the Biafra struggle today is that there are threats to the life of the Biafran people. Everyone can testify that a good number of Biafran people have lost their life without committing any offense. Thousands are detained in various prisons. Many lives are lost. Properties are lost. It got to the extent that our Supreme Amazon kind of saw that we cannot fold our hands and continue to watch. While the military is coming to destroy us, the terrorists are coming in another way, using the governors among to protect the territory for themselves. After seeing all this, Mazen Nandekano put in place the ESN. And when he put in place the Eastern Security Network, he made it clear their duty is to stay in their forests and protect our forests. From then till now, they have been doing so. But still yet, these governors in the Southeast see them as a threat. Instead of looking towards the enemy that is coming to invade the land, they are looking towards of those who are protecting the land, leaving everybody vulnerable to the hand of the enemy. This is the reason why we can never, ever validate anybody that calls him or herself a politician. From the smallest one to the biggest one, they are all betrayers. They are all betrayers. They are the one that kept us in the condition we are today. They are the ones that have made the Biafran people to lose respect. They are the ones that have given the right to the Zoological Republic terrorists to come and take life as they wish. Even as we speak, The governor in Imo State is still doing the same thing, taking the life of innocent people at every given opportunity. We have seen several videos where innocent lives were being taken. You saw the recent one that came out where they were interrogating some people who claim to be members of ESN. Where we saw where they were interrogating innocent people. They forced them to accept that they're members of ESN. And when you see the way they are talking at the interrogation, you will hear them repeating what they are being told. Somebody is there just reiterating what they are being told. This is what the governors have brought upon us. Every one of us were here. When the whole southeastern states came out and protest that they do not want anything called a Bubaga around them. Have you ever had such a protest against the ESN? Have you ever had such a protest against the ESN? Since the ESN was established by Mazen Nandekano, have you ever had a joint protest across the whole southeast demanding for the end of the ESN? It has never happened. But it happened to Bubaga. And yes, these governors, they forced Egugago on Biafra people. And up from then till now, lives have been lost on a daily basis. At every little provocation, life has been lost. Hobos of them have increased, burning of properties, destroying of lives and properties on a daily basis. We saw a woman that came out wanting to cry out. A woman that just came from the township to his village to visit with his children. They entered the house and they took the man away. The next minute, they're accusing the man of being a member of ESN, accusing him of selling marijuana. And the man has nothing to do with that. Even when they showed the video of the man was still crying. As they interviewed the first person who they have already coached on what he would say, they couldn't even interview the man himself. They couldn't interview the man to explain the situation of things and what happened, what transpired, what brought him into that very place. It was not asked. Nobody asked. Nobody asked. That is how dangerous it has become. Thank you, my beloved Sunday, Christopher. I'm speaking about that is the major reason why I'm here. I'm here because of the seat at home. It is very, very important, very, very important that we hold on that seat down. This is a very strong weapon that we have. A very strong weapon we have that we cannot afford to gamble with. If you love Mazen Nandekano and you still want your freedom, you should know that just as Mazen Nandekano said that the Biafran freedom is non-negotiable, so the seat at home is non-negotiable. Anybody that wants to stop a seat at home knows what to do. You know what to do. If you feel you have all the minds, you have all the power, if you feel you are concerned on what is happening, you know what to do. Just as the governors are complaining, running helter-skelter, saying, talking that they are losing billions. You are losing billions every Monday. So what about the billions you have been making all these Mondays past? What have you done with it? What have you done with the billions you have been making in the past? This is how they are indicting themselves. If you can be making billions of nairas every blessed day, and yet Biafra land is still the way it is, that means something is wrong. Something is wrong. The only thing, one of the major things Biafran people are holding at is that seat at home. And it worth it. Whatever sacrifice, whatever thing that you've been lost on that seat at home, it worth it. And that is our aim. Our aim is to make sure that the government of the day begin to pay attention to what is happening to Biafra people. If sit at home has become the only thing that will make them to begin to mention Biafra at every of their gathering, so be it. So be it. That is what we are looking for. We want them to recognize the presence of Biafra and that Biafra is something that exists and can never be taken away. If you don't know the importance of that very sit at home it has made it impossible for anybody in that Zolika Republic to forget Biafra or to forget Mazen Nandekano. Because there's never a time you can talk about sit at home without remembering Mazen Nandekano. He will always be in the picture. You can never speak of anything in that zoo without talking about Mazen Nandekan. And the Biafran people have made it possible with on their own, by their own choice, not being forced. They were not forced. It is only now that the governor is coming to force people to come out. Let's see how he's going to do it. If he's going to be going house to house to bring people out. You want to lock down school, go ahead and lock down all the schools, lock down all the markets, close down all the banks. Go ahead. Close them down. Of course, go ahead. Help the Biafrans to close all those things down. But as for our freedom, we will continue to pursue our freedom until freedom comes. There's no amount of blackmail or propaganda of yours that can make us change our decision. There's no amount of blackmail or propaganda of yours that will redirect us to a place that we've just left. The Biafran people have come a long way. And for the record, those of you who think we are still talking as an organization, I continue to say it on every of my program, that the Biafran Republic government in exile is in charge. Biafra is no longer just an organization. It is a government existing as I speak. The Biafra Republic government in exile are doing marvelous work. They have fully activated Biafra de facto government in homeland. And as our Prime Minister have reiterated, that it is now government under government. That is where we are. Government under government. That is where we are. We have passed the stage of agitation, shouting, talking, blackmailing, propaganda, right, left, and center. It is a pity that some people are still on that stage. Some people are still behind. But that is what they have chosen for themselves. If some people have chosen to remain behind and not to move forward, we can't force them. We cannot force them. It is a choice they have made for themselves. But that is not going to deter us. Neither is it going to reduce our speed. Instead, it will increase our speed. Whatever effort anybody makes today to drag us back, it will only end up to speed us up and make us jump on stages and get to a height that they can never be able to catch up. Just as our Prime Minister have always said that we are 1,000 miles ahead of these people. When he says it, people will think it's a joke. But when things begin to unfold, you will see how far ahead we are. Far, far ahead. And they can never catch up, no matter how they run, no matter how they try. No matter how they try, they can never catch up. The Biafran people have made a decision. And today's being sit at home, watch out and see what is going to happen. We will continue to stand on that seat at home. We continue to pursue the seat at home. We continue to do it until Mazen Nandekano is released unconditionally. It will never stop. It's a decision made by Biafran people. And remember what Mazen Nandekano said. Remember the word of Mazen Nandekano. That consistency is the key. He didn't just say it. He practiced it. From the very time he started this agitation up to date, his word has been only the same. He has always been asking for the independence of Biafran state. He has never changed on that very direction. Independence of Biafran state, that's what he's looking for. Through a referendum. He has been pursuing it, speaking about it. In fact, that is the reason why he was kidnapped. And today, he is still being detained because of it. They want him to denounce that word. And recently, he repeated the same word and said that the Biafran struggle, Biafran freedom, is not negotiable. We must be free. He just said it recently. That is how important the struggle is to him and to you and I. If you think you can use your punishment to make us change our mind, you're wasting your time. If you think you can use your attack, you are wasting your time. We have crossed the stage where we do not know our left and right, where we are only crying without doing anything. Today, with the government of Biafra Republic government in exile, we have nothing to fear. We speak to people that need to be spoken to. We meet the authority that need to be met. We open the doors that need to be opened. And we shut the doors that need to be shut. As a government, no longer as an organization. And it is becoming much more clearer than ever. Our Prime Minister gaining recognitions right, left, and center. One thing that you can never take away from him. Some thought it is just some we are calling him. Initially, they were saying that self-acclaim. Today, the word self-acclaim is silent. You don't no longer hear it the way you hear it before. The safer claim is no longer being had. And today, whatever word he put out there is being carried out. And they can hear him and hear him clear. Biafra will definitely come. There's nothing anybody can do about it. And our spirit of Mazen Nandekano will be released by us. You and I. You and I. We are the ones that are going to do something that will release. And that was what Mazen Nandekano said, that anything we are doing in support of Biafra on his release, that we should hold on to it. Stand your ground. Be consistent. That consistency is the key. Consistency is key. As we are sitting at home, continue to sit at home on Monday consistently until you get your result. If you don't get result, you will never step out. That is the major work. When we talk about consistency, that is what it's all about. Continue to do something. Continue to do the same thing. Do it again and again until you get result. Continue to do it. If you're making a demand, continue to make that demand. Continue to make the hammer on that demand until you get a result. Not when you talk of this tomorrow, today, the next minute you're talking about a different thing. The next second you're talking about a different thing. The Biafran agitators that are the followers of Mazen Nandekano, those who are the legitimate and sincere followers of Mazen Nandekano, we all know that Mazen Nandekano has only one single request and one agenda: Biafra. You saw his interview where he said that it's either Biafra or death. It's either he gets Biafra or he dies in the course of pursuing Biafra. When he said that word, he wasn't joking. It wasn't a joke. That was a serious statement coming from our Supreme Mazen Nandekano. He was very, very serious by he was saying that. But those who have refused to pay attention to his words, even though they claim to be his followers, but they refuse to pay attention to his words, today you see them. They are left behind. They are left far, far behind while we are moving ahead, walking into Biafra. They are still talking as those who are still in the zoo with nothing to offer. All they have to offer is distraction, propaganda, blackmail. Not even against the enemy, blackmail against their own people. You see the one they cooked up against Aloy Ejimako recently. Just to make sure they destroy everything that Mazen Nandekano have set up. But will they succeed? You can never succeed. You can never fight Chukwu Okabia and succeed. Mazen Nandekano himself was sent by Chukwu Okabia, a messenger of Chukwu Okabia himself, pursuing his mission and his agenda of freedom of Biafra without looking back, without any compromise. And you think you can walk out from anywhere and you come and now you will take over. You can come and begin to change him. You can't change him anything. You can't change the order. Mazen Nandekano remains the sole founder, and whatever he says goes. And his freedom can never be denied him. He will regain his freedom. Our Prime Minister today is doing the needful, doing what he's supposed to do. Our Prime Minister today is fighting strongly for all of us. Our Prime Minister today is doing exactly what he needs to do to make sure that Biafra regain their freedom. If you still have Biafra in your heart, if you still value freedom, you are supposed to heap on your energy behind our Prime Minister. If the global world will recognize our Prime Minister as the ambassador of peace, if the global community will recognize Mazen Simon Ekpa as ambassador of peace, how much more you that owns him as your own brother? Why won't you that it is your own brother, you that is your own leader, you that he is close to, why won't you recognize him? Why won't you recognize him and walk along with him to achieve that peace? I have said it time and time again. Biafra is never for war. Even from the Civil War 1967, we never went for war. Biafra never called for war. We were on their own. We were on our own. The Nigerian government brought war upon us through Gowon. They brought war upon the Biafran people. And in the speech of our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu, you heard him say it, that Biafrans were fighting almost reluctantly because they have no other choice than to defend themselves. The mission was to make sure they wipe away the Biafran people. In such situation, you have no choice than to defend yourself. So in 1967, Biafra, we are fighting a defensive war. It was to defend their territory. That was why our eternal leader described Biafra as a place where the oppressed people run into and are secured. And today we want to re-establish that place where oppressed people run into and secure. And some people are fighting against it. Why the global community is recognizing our Prime Minister as the ambassador of peace. People who he's fighting for is calling him a terrorist. What an irony. But are they going to change it? They won't change anything. Instead, they'll make us get stronger. Whatever they are saying, they will make us get stronger. Because we are moving forward. Forward ever and backward never. A lot of gains have been made already. And more gains will be made. Regardless what anybody says, regardless your opinion, regardless whatever propaganda or blackmail you are bringing from any angle, you can never succeed. The restoration of Biafra has been confirmed, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. The earlier you accept it, the better for you. The more you begin to fight it, the closer you go to your grave. That's one disturbing thing is that, including all these politicians who claim to be, they never learn lesson. People don't learn from what happened to others. If a governor should just come into power and begin to talk against Biafra, begin to channel every of his energy to fight something that is already successful, and you think you will succeed, how dare you think you will? From where are you going to succeed? Are you more popular or more intelligent than Soludo? Soludo did his own part when he came. He started with the Biafran people, challenging, destroying, and trying to claim what he is not. And where is he today? What is his condition today? What is his situation? Not only that the Biafran people rejected him, he was disgraced by the zoo. He was disgraced. And one of the reasons why we must not validate any politician is that their interest has always been to please Abuja. Even a governor in Biafra land, that is supposed to run the affairs of people and ask questions, listen to the voice of their people. What do they want? What do they want? They don't listen. Their focus is on Abuja. Make sure you silence the Biafran agitators. Their first and only mission. As long as you accept that mission, they'll make you a governor. And when they come in, they start with that. They begin to threaten their own people. They begin to constitute nuisance, threaten their own people, take innocent lives. And then Abuja will be clapping for them. The only thing Abuja is quick to do to the Biafra people is to send military. Have you realized? Have you realized that the only thing that Abuja is always quick to do to the southeast, that once they make that demand, they will do it, is to send military in Biafra land to take lives. Each time aids are being sent from abroad to Nigeria, the aids doesn't get to Biafra land. When they make allocation, the allocation doesn't go to Biafra land. They build their rail. They boycotted Biafra land. They borrowed money for development. They boycotted for Biafra land. When they bring their agricultural relief, they boycott Biafra land. But when it comes to sending the Boko Haram military, the terrorist military, to take innocent life, Biafra land got the highest share. And you don't see anything wrong in that. You must be a witch. If you're a Biafran and you don't see anything wrong in that attitude, you must be a witch. And you are one of the greatest enemies of the Biafran people. That is why today, when I see all these Biafran bloggers, recently I see these Biafran bloggers talking rubbish. I have said it time and time again that it is not mandatory that everybody must fight for Biafra. It is not mandatory. And there's never a time, if you are expecting that everybody will get engaged in the Biafra struggle, you are deceiving yourself. You are just a dreamer. You are a deceiver. There's never a time everybody will be there. There are people who will play ignorance. There are people who their own responsibility will be fighting against Biafra. We are not the first people. It happened to the Jews before they had the state of Israel. A certain group, Jews, were fighting against the state of Israel to make sure it doesn't come to pass. They included adding money hiring mercenaries to fight against their own people, make sure that the state of Israel doesn't come to them. But didn't it come? It came. As they were fighting against it, there were still people whom Chukwu Okabem was using to make sure that the state of Israel stands. They sponsored their freedom. They pursued it until the last minute. And finally, today, the state of Israel is one of the strongest nations in the world. Unchallenged, undeterred. You dare not point a finger at their face and they go scot-free. This was the people that were decimated. Their property destroyed across the world. Hatred from right, left, and center. But today, whether you like it or not, you must love a Jew. Whether you like it or not, you must love a Jew. Because there is no place in this world today where you will not see their investment. If you go to any part of the world, count 1, 2, 3, 4. Before you get to number 5, you see a Jewish man, regardless the country, including the Arab country, has an investment there. And they gain their respect. Time has gone when you point a finger at them. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do it and go scot-free. And that is why every Biafran must wake up. If we must regain our dignity, if we must get our respect back, we must have our own nation, a place we will return to. We must have our own nation, a place we will defend with the last drop of our blood. A place that we can be proud to call our own. And when we are holding the passport, we put it on our chest and walk boldly with our head lifted high. Except we do that, we will never gain respect. The disrespect will continue. Today, you see the attack the Biafrans are facing across the world, anywhere they are. The reason why they are facing all those attacks is because they are still under green, white, gray. So many of our brothers are accused innocently. So many are being pushed into different dangerous businesses because of the situation of the country. Some of them, the country has forced them to get out and begin to pursue their survival by all means possible. And let me tell you, a human being, when pushed to war, must try to survive. Every human being on the planet Earth that is born in this world must try to survive by hook or crook, in any way, no one way or the other. Nobody will fold his hand and allow it to ride on him. And the only way we can correct every single mistake you are seeing in the Biafran people and their life today is for us to have our own nation. As soon as we have a state of Biafra, we can now be able to start to correct some mistakes that have been done in the past and the present. We begin to correct some things that are wrong within us and among us. If we don't do that, it is going to get worse. If we do not get our own nation and begin to correct the wrongs that have been planted among us, it is going to be difficult and it's going to get worse. That is why we have to wake up now that we still have a time. Now that we still have time to speak, now that we still have the voice, now that we still have the audience, now that we still have the strength, now that we have a leader that is close to the authority, is a great opportunity that no sensible person would like to miss. Our Sweden Martin Nanikan has been there. He did a marvelous work. And today, finally, we have gotten another person, Mazi Simon Epa, who every one of us have seen his handwork, and we have seen how connected he is internationally. We have seen about all his diplomatic moves, with all the qualities he has as a lawyer and a politician. When you see the master stroke that he's using, I see no reason why you shouldn't be happy with yourself. This is not the time to withdraw. This is not the time to sit back. And this is not the time to stay in this time to watch. It's a time for every Biafran to come out in full force. Let us push it once and for all. Let us push it. Let's push it in full force. Let's push this to the end and end it once and for all. This opportunity you are seeing now, you might not see it again in the next decade. You might not see it again in the next 100 years. You might not see it. In the next century, you might not see this opportunity again. Now that we have the opportunity, we must have to make use of it. I want you to look beyond Mazi Simon Ekpa each time we are talking about Biafra. Look beyond him. He is just an instrument in the hand of Chukwu Okike to make certain things a reality. That is what he is. An instrument in the hand of Chukwu Okike. So when you are trying to belittle the struggle, when you are trying to cage the work of Chukwuka Biafra just on Mazi Simon Ekpa, you are deceiving yourself. You are only exposing yourself to danger. Do not limit the struggle. Do not limit the effect of this very struggle to Mazi Simon Ekpa. He is an instrument in the hand of Chukwuka Biafra. And it is because some of you limit their mind to where he is. That is why you don't see anything good. You are bent on fighting him. That is why you are bent on attacking him. And at the end of the day, you end up destroying yourself. Every attack against our Prime Minister of Biafra Republic government in Israel, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is an attack against the will of Chukwuka Biafra. Every attack against Mazi Simon Ekpa is an attack against the God of the land. And if you engage in such attack, you will never, ever, ever survive. You will never, ever survive. And so many who have engaged in that will not even live to tell the story. That is how dangerous it is. So you must be careful. See beyond Mazi Simon Ekpa when you are talking about Biafra. See beyond him. He is a mouthpiece. He is a mouthpiece chosen by the gods. The same way Chukwuka Biafra chose Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, anointed him. He preached for more than a decade. We woke up and we followed him. It is the same anointing on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that he used to call out Mazi Simon Ekpa. That anointing that you respect so much. Every one of us are in line following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today, as it stands today. Even his enemies today are confessing about his works. Even his enemies are remembering him. The same mouth that you remember, that voice that you had and you respect and you call, it is that same man that anointed Mazi Simon Ekpa and told you, follow him, share his videos, listen to him. You wouldn't take that part because it doesn't suit you. You wouldn't take that part. You would obey that part because it's not, you are not the one that he called. You don't approve for that part. You approve every other prophecy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, every other thing he has said. But this particular one that will lead us into that destination, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself defined and said by his own self, that this man is going to take us to the new dimension. That he is bringing a new dimension. He didn't tell you that when he brings that new dimension, don't follow him. He said, follow him, listen to him, share his videos. You believe in the prophecy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But this very important and major prophecy that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave about the new dimension, you don't believe it. You don't even want to hear about it. And yes, you say you want Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu spoke about the new dimension that is going to be in Biafra. You don't agree with it. You don't buy into it. But yet, you say you love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You follow him. You preach him. But the most important statement, the most important prophecy he has made for the coming of Biafra, you reject it. And you are fighting against that prophecy. Every fight against Mazi Simon Ekpa is fight against the prophecy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not only stop on prophecy. When he was kidnapped in Kenya, on his arrival, the first single opportunity he has to make a statement, what he did was to tell Mazi Simon Ekpa to go and take charge. He told Mazi Simon Ekpa, go and pilot the affairs of the Biafran people until I join you. That was the direct message. That message was neutralized. They diverted it and changed it. They said he's giving him a portion. He said, okay, in order to not cause problem, because whatever Chukwuka ordained and anointed must surely come to pass, no matter how I try to write. They said, give him a portion. Did they give him? They were still scared. They couldn't even give him that portion to broadcast. Instead, they were busy trying to see how they can be able to oppress him, cage him into a corner so they cannot be able to speak. And as Chukwuka might have it, he is ahead of them. They don't know that the new dimension have already started. And in that new dimension, it doesn't need anybody to control it. It doesn't need anybody to direct it. Chukwuka by himself will direct it. That was why Chukwuka put the new dimension in autopilot. And autopilot became a movement, very, very strong movement. The new dimension entered into autopilot. He began to grow. And today, look at where we are. Biafra is now a government. Speaking as a government, talking to people that matters, talking to governments of the world, talking to prime ministers, talking to world powers, in secret and in open. Recognitions, right, left, and center, which you yourself can, even if you are blind. Even if you're blind, at least you have ear to see. If you are deaf, you still have eyes, you can see. But yet you deny it. But your denial of the truth, will that change, make the truth to be a lie? Never. Your denial of the truth will never change the truth to become a lie. The truth remains the truth. The only thing that the more you continue to deny the truth, the more clearer the truth continues to become. Very soon, the inauguration of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile headquarters in the United States will be done. You saw the attack that came on that direction. While the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government in Exile was busy doing the needful, the government was busy establishing an office in the United Kingdom. Some were busy distracting, blackmailing, lying, even when they know that they are lying, even when they have seen the truth before their own very eyes. They were carried away by envy and jealousy and strife and wickedness. With all evidence, yet they went and they took away the flag of Biafra that was lifted high. They went and removed it. That is how bad it is. But regardless what anybody does, we shall overcome. I appreciate everybody that have joined me on this very broadcast. It's a very short one to tell Biafran people that our sit at home continues. The only thing that will stop the sit at home, the only thing that will stop the sit at home is the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. If somebody tells you that sit at home is not working, tell that person, has Mazen Nnamdi Kanu been released? If you want to cancel sit at home, release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and automatically the sit at home ends. You don't need to preach about it. You don't need to negotiate with anybody. You don't need to talk. Once Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released, the sit at home ends. Please sit at your home wherever you are in Biafra land. If you're not in Biafra land, any place you are, reach out to your family and let them know that sit at home remains until Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide and protect every Biafran, wherever you are watching from east, west, north, and south. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect you. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect all our media warriors, all the members of ESN, everyone that is genuinely fighting for Biafra. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect you. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect our Prime Minister. Guide and protect our Prime Minister wherever he is. Any place he steps his foot, Chukwu Okike will use his grace and cover him. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect our Supreme Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Guide and protect him, secure him wherever he is. Let the presence of Chukwu Okike continue to go with him. No evil shall befall him. Every poison that is injected in his body will never have effect. May Chukwu Okike continue to grant us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to walk in unity and in faith until we get into Biafra very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you again later in the evening when we are going to have a joint broadcast. Please join us on that joint broadcast today. The media is going to have a joint broadcast today. Be there and join us, and may Chukwu Okike guide and protect every one of you. Thank you so much and stay blessed. See you again later in the evening. Bye-bye.